Hey there, I'm Sean Collins, and I'm the esports reporter with the Dallas Morning News, covering the Dallas Fuel of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League season is just around the corner. It starts this weekend, and the Fuel will play in San Antonio against the Houston Outlaws on Friday. I will be there in person for live coverage. But if you like these kinds of videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Turn on the bell notifications. This is kind of a side hustle as compared to my normal written coverage and beat reporter coverage, but we do think that these add a nice element. And today I wanted to bring my Overwatch League power rankings for the start of the season. I'm not going to go in depth on every single team just because that will result in a 25-minute video, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to kind of give my opinions on especially the S and the A tier, and then I'll just have some notes for the other tiers. I'll continue doing these throughout the season. But just to start, Shanghai, only S tier team for me right now, defending champions. They retained their core roster. I've got notes over here, so if you see me looking, they added Bebe, but they kept Lip, Void, Fate, Fleta, Izayaki, Lee Jae Gon. They're a stacked roster. I expect them to be a very good team, even in the 5 versus 5 era. In that A tier, I do think the top two teams in the A tier are going to be Dallas and LAG. I think that Dallas might have a little bit of an edge, but I could see how LAG could be better early in the season, perhaps. Dallas retained much of its core as well, but they did add Chio, Edison, and Guerrillo. I expect Chio is going to get, obviously, a ton of playtime. If not, he'll probably play the entire season unless Dallas adds another support, which I don't think is going to happen, at least for now. And Edison is going to play a lot as well alongside Sparkle. I think that that's going to be the main roster, aside from maybe some Sombra comps, and Sombra can be pretty strong right now. But I expect Dallas to be pretty good. LAG, another good team. They added Ons, Funny Astro, and they kept Space and Kevster. They're going to be a good team. I'm interested to see how well they gel. That's kind of been the LAG thing, right? They've never really fully reached their potential with some of these really stacked rosters. Maybe this year will be the year. I have them as a top 3 team. My hottest take of the A tier, I think, is the Seoul Dynasty being this good. I think people think that they can be pretty good, but I don't know if people have them top 4 at the moment. I acknowledge that Smurf really needs to pop off as their tank player, and he really has to fit into their meta, or the meta really needs to work to Seoul. So I have them as a team that might be a little bit meta dependent, but what that meta is good for them, they're going to be a top team. Atlanta Reign, they kept their 3 core guys, Gator, Hawk, and Kai, from their second place finish last year, and they added some nice pieces in Nero, Venom, OG, and Ultraviolet. I expect them to be a top 5 team. Chengdu, I feel the weirdest about this one in the A tier, which is kind of why I put them in last for the A tier. They had a weird offseason, issues with management and some players leaving, about payment with players, and to be honest, I think that could cause some issues. They only have 6 players, but they do have leave, and Daisy was a great tank player in contenders, so I see them as a team that has massive potential. It kind of just depends on how well they gel. For this B tier, I'll just go ahead and say that those first 4 teams, starting from the left, those are the teams that I think could squeak up into that A tier. The rest of the teams I do think are solid, but I'm not willing to put them any higher than the B tier. And I also don't want to start by putting a ton of teams in the A tier. I've seen a lot of people do that, but I don't feel comfortable doing that yet. As far as teams like Washington goes, I know that they have a really stacked roster, but I've been proven wrong by them in the past, by them just not being as good as I expected. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them low there for now, but I could see them being an A tier team if they get their stuff together. As far as the B tier, I think Boston has the most potential to at least be the most consistent out of the teams in this tier. I know a lot of people might think that's NYXL, but I think that NYXL has a lot to prove to get back to where they were in the early years of the Overwatch League. D tier, not too much to say. Vancouver and London. I think that they have a lot of room to grow, especially at the start of the season. I could see them definitely being better teams towards the end of the year, but for now, they are going to be in that lower tier. If you enjoyed this, let us know. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn the bell noties on. Thanks.